what would he be wanting? That the whole election should be overturned, or that there should be re-election in certain areas?
Well, this is where a court case brings to test proper collection of evidence, analysis, and presentation. One of the tasks that his lawyers will have to decide is that on the facts we have, what is the relief that is available in law? So if you say, for example, that there was no election in let's say 1,000 constituencies, and the maximum voting register in those constituencies is 1 million people. I don't think it's, but let's say
hypothetically, yes.
Then you have to decide whether, if those elections were rerun, you have the chance of winning 100% of those votes, and that when you win those votes, it will change the numerical outcome of your vote in the contest.
Yeah.
And don't forget that there's a double test. Again, elections is about strategy and calculation. It's not just enough to win the majority of votes. You must win 2/3 of the votes. 25% of the votes in 2/3 of the states. This is a mechanism to ensure the diversity of the electoral pool from which a candidate is elected. So everybody has a stake. So you say to yourself, can I, with the challenge I'm making, prove not only that I got the majority of votes cast in the election, but that I got 25% of the votes in 2/3 of the states? This is a test. If the case you are making will establish that, then it's worthwhile. If the case you are making will not establish that, then going to court to look for technical points is just a loser's game. So when you go before the court, you have to bring a bombshell. You cannot go to court and say, I've lost the majority of the votes, but I want you to find an ultra technical route by which I can install myself as president. Because the purpose of elections is to test the will of the majority. So this is your task. Prove that the ground upon which I have not been validly elected is that the majority supported me and they didn't support my opponent. This is a very high bar to reach.
Wow. So this case will take about how long? Because all the cases, up to the Supreme Court should come before May 29.
Yes, there are time limits in the electoral law. I can't tell you what they are. 21 days to file the petition, 30 days to have the decision. So the idea is that you should be able to resolve these matters. This is why it's a massive task. Each time people talk to me about it's a huge legal task. I use the example in Florida in 2008. Florida was the controversial state in America where the 2004 election was decided. And so there was a high degree of anticipation that in 2008, elections there would be controversial. The Democratic Party, ahead of elections, sent 500 lawyers to Florida alone because they have to compile, they have to process, they have to arrange presentation, they have to work in concert. There must be a team set on ground. You can't, after the election has gone and you're floundering, start saying, please give me evidence, let me try. This is where the mistakes are made. The mistakes are made in a rush preparation rather than in anticipation. And I think anybody who's going to win the legal contest must have been preparing for this contest months before the election took place.
So if you're not doing that, then you're back about 2, 3, 4 notches down the line.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to try and excite the public. You're going to try and create emotional and political agitation, like has been done irresponsibly by some senior members of our political community who don't care the consequences to the people whose lives they will put at risk. So you have to this is what's going to happen. But sometimes when you have a political movement, you have to let it down slowly. So you have to give people a sense of grievance is a cause for cohesion. And over time, it's also a mechanism for dealing with conflict.